Hello Pisces, I'm Gina Davis. Welcome to your horoscope for the Sagittarius new moon. Batter up. Welcome back, Pisces. Thank you very much for being here with me. I love you very dearly. I hope you like that intro. Welcome to your horoscope for the new moon in Sagittarius. This is happening on Thursday, the 24th of November at 9:57 a.m. So as a group, let's all commit to the 23rd of November as the Black Night to cast our spells and to ask for what it is that we hope to come into our lives after the perhaps turbulent period of eclipse season. How are you going? Are you all right? Did everything go okay? What came to light for you over the last month or so in regard to your village, your local environment where you exist at the moment and your access to language, and something a bit loftier, the sort of the ninth house where we find philosophy and spiritual expansion? Did you have things in those houses that presented themselves out of the blue or that fell away because they needed to? And now it's time for us to enter Sagittarius season to recognize the similarities between Sagittarians and ourselves. We're both ruled by Jupiter, and Jupiter is the energy of expansion and optimism and good fortune. So in that way, we know that Sagittarius can represent confidence, can't it? And moving around and seeking, traveling. And Pisces represents love and care and empathy and seeing the best in people. So you can see that Jupiter has influence over both of us in different ways. Fire and water, but definitely there's a similarity, a commonality there. For a Pisces rising, Sagittarius rules the 10th house, which is where we craft legacy. It's where we are most publicly perceived in some way, and it's got a lot to do with, our life's work. So at a new moon in Sagittarius, this is the time for a Pisces rising to make a wish and to ask for the next adventure, the next round, the next version of our legacy. It can be many different things in this life, and we can go through many different seasons. Nothing lasts, nothing stays. And when it comes to legacy, I think that that's something for the older version of ourselves to look back on. And I'm sure that as I encounter life and as I tip over into the next chapter of my existence, every now and again, I'll take a little look back and I'll rack up the successes and the failures and look at the work that I've done and been involved in and the personas that I have expressed. And as I get older, there's pride there. There's a nice little collection of, I don't know about you, but I've been many different people, man, in this life. I've tried my hand at many different things. At the moment, this is where my heart lays. This kind of expression and connection and language is where I find the most comfort and where I actually, at this point in history, think that I'm probably of the best help. So that doesn't discount any of my prior work or any of my prior interests and endeavors. And I think probably as we sort of scoop them up, at the end of our round, we can look at them and marvel at them and go, oh, look at this beautiful tapestry of different interests and endeavors, and look at the commonality, look at the sort of base note of what that they all have in common. For a Pisces rising, particularly, Sagittarius in the 10th, think of Sagittarian energy, think of that yearning to learn, that sort of quest for the expanded mind. And think about what you've done in your career. Think about what kind of work you've committed to. And think of the disparate nature of all of those different geysers. And think of the common thread. It's that Sagittarian essence, isn't it? That quest for knowledge. So at a new moon, this is our time, babes. We can ask for things. We can call it in. In the major secrets of the tarot, temperance is our Sagittarian energy. And I really like this because it's echoing the chart already. But temperance lets us know that with magic, we can meld water and fire. We can meld our emotional liquid nature with our fiery, passionate magic, and that we don't really need to discount one or the other. With magic, we can mix them and have both. We can conjure and create a tonic, an elixir that includes both of them. At different times, different elements will show up in more profound ways, but we don't need to doctor our emotional connection to our body and to each other, and we don't need to doctor our passion as well. It's simply a matter of finding the magic brew, finding the right combination. This little angel here has one foot on land and one foot in the water as well. They're keeping themselves grounded. They're looking to the Virgo polarity, perhaps of Pisces, to make some of this etheric wonder that we can all experience, that sort of, unspeakable, unknowable magic that sometimes can roll through us. And the foot on the earth, the foot on the Virgo soil, to keep it grounded, to keep it here. This is one big lesson that I've really been going over in my mind again and again lately, is that we're here on this planet for a purpose. As much as it's gorgeous to be out here, and as much as that is the most incredible place to swim around in, that fairy dust is put to best benefit here on the planet. At 1 degree of Sagittarius, we have the 8 of Wands. So look at that magic. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. That's a spell well cast, all going in the same direction. So I see this as conviction and a precision. So perhaps in your manifestation of your career, my Pisces risings in particular, be precise. Look at what you would like next to have happen in this chapter of your legacy, and ask for it. Ask for it at the new moon. The relationship with Jupiter is a really beautiful one. So Jupiter rules us both, as I said. Jupiter is also in a dissociative trine, which is a funny way to say it, but that's what I looked up the definition, and it's called a dissociative trine between disparate elements. So normally Sagittarian energy and Pisces energy, you might often find squares there, 90-degree pressure points of conflicting interest. But because the lunation's happening at 1 degree of Sagittarius and Jupiter is at 28 degrees of Pisces, it's closer to 180 degrees, which is support and harmony. It's temperance. So think about maybe December of 2021 to about May of 2022, there was a pocket of time there of this expansive quality of Jupiter in the sign of Pisces. There was that lovely conjunction with Neptune, the dreamer, the illusionist of the zodiac. There's been an emphasis on the magical parts of Pisces, and Jupiter's come back into Pisces to remind us of that in support of this lunation. So I don't know about you, but I see a lot of really, I see a lot of grand possibilities at this lunation. I see a lot of hope for Pisces. And the other trine, the other supportive relationship is Venus and Mercury. So we're thinking messages of passion, messages of love, messages of maybe even seduction in supportive relationship, supportive aspect with Chiron, our wounded healer that's lingering gently, gently, gently in Aries. Now, they've been there since 2019. They're going to be there until 2026. This isn't to say that all Pisces are doomed to suffer poverty for all of that time, but an interesting relationship about worth, self-worth here, I see. And I would suggest that to use this supportive trine, the supportive aspect, might be as simply as talking yourself up a bit in regard to your legacy, in regard to your most public self, how you're publicly perceived. I think the 10th house is at the top of the chart. The 4th is at the bottom, so that's privacy. 10th is at the top, visible. So where you're creating legacy in public, in this life, what would you like to have happen for the next chapter? And what does this have to do with a sense of optimism of self? And what gentle pain points are you reminded of and perhaps being encouraged to work through in regard to your self-worth, your access to money? I like this. It's almost like the 2nd house is kind of like holding hands with the 10th house. The 2nd and the 10th, they have got something to do with each other, don't they? We think about our legacy. Well, only in capitalism, let's face it, only in the sort of sense of like, you got to produce, earn that money, be productive. What are you made of? What do you do for work? All of that stuff, that can be really exhausting. At the moment, it's what we've got to work with. And I guess if I can identify with you in some way, Pisces, I know that I get really single focused. If I'm passionate about something and I want to learn and share something, my nose is to that grindstone. And so in some ways it has to be how I earn money because I can't really think to do anything else. That's a blessing and a curse. Let's get into your intuitive tarot, my lovely Pisces friends. Ace of Pentacles. That's great. 8 of Wands. Justice. I like this. I like this. Justice is Libra, equity, right relationship, the connective tissue between polarity, balancing things out by realizing that polarity is connected. We're all of the same thing. Light can't exist without shadow. Man, woman are of the same thing. Good, evil are of the same thing. There's a connectivity here. There's going to be really direct, sharp, clear messages for you, Pisces, at this lunation, and you're going to have hand in that. You're going to activate that too. Remember, you're a witch. You can cast a spell at a new moon. It's going to be in regard to something grounded, something of great potential. Think of this Ace of Pentacles as a seed, a really substantial seed for you to work on and to help grow, to help provide for you in later years. What the major secret that's coming through is that sense of justice. Now, I know that the justice system is something else. The justice system as it stands, the systems of justice in which we are all as human citizens bound by and can wildly be completely off balance for some folks more than others. This is not so much what we're talking about. We're talking about our spiritual sense of right relationship. I think when I think of Libra, when I think of the Justice card, I think there's a beautiful mantra that might hold you in some comfort. I choose the way that leads between the great two lines of force. I'm breaking a binary. I'm breaking the structures that would have you there and me here, because you need us here to keep you there. That's not equity. That's not right relationship. This good fortune that you're going to experience, Pisces, is going to be of right relationship and fair equity for all. There's no ladder that you need to climb. There's no apex that you need to scurry up in order to have some sense of pride in your work and your position. As we move forward with this consciousness, we're going to come into a greater sense of alignment with one another and the equity that is essential for us all, that every human soul has the friggin' same birth chart. We all have a map of the stars. We all have this dance. Our planets are different. Our rising sign is different. Our purpose maybe differs. The essence of why we're here, and also our welcome mat to being here in the first place, is open to everyone. And no matter what is said or projected or above us, telling us that, well, you've just got to work really hard and then you'll get up here, we know that some of these are fallacies. We're not talking about work, grinding to the 10th house of acclaim and wealth and the upper hand. We're doing it for a sense of welcome and a sense of solidarity and a sense of being of really great service to others. So that's what I want you to focus on at this new moon. That's what I want you to ask for. You can ask for as many things or as many fast cars and fur coats as we want to. Really, your legacy, Pisces, is to love and to prove it, to share it, to spread it around. That's your reading. I love you heaps, Pisces. Thank you very much for being here with me, and thank you for your lovely comments and seeing me through my little tantrum yesterday. It's funny with this sort of stuff, if you can't, and probably maybe a nice bit of advice for anyone that's engaged in this kind of work. If you're not feeling it, if there's a roadblock, if you can't see the patterns for the trees, the tarot card is saying nothing to you, that's a surefire sign that you need to have a nap or a glass of bread or relax from it. There's no use in pushing it through. I think another maybe bit of advice would be in this culture of mass production of content and mass consumption and attention spans that last for 3 minutes, at max now, thank you to Tiki-Toki, which I don't have. Don't fight me. We find ourselves under pressure to consistently produce and to show up and to remind people that we're here in the first place. The spiritual, faith-based side of that is that the right people will find you at the right time, and what you're doing is to be taken of utmost care and patience with, and that you're not a failure for not stepping up to the plate. I want you to ignore all of those silly messages from social media experts that say, you're using the wrong hashtags. You can have 10 billion followers if you do this. Just pay us and we'll get your face. You need to produce every day, 5 times a day. It's too much. It's too much. It's too much. You find your own rhythm. You'll find your own way, Pisces. And sometimes the detour has the best view. I love you. Sorry if that didn't make any sense. Anyway, thank you for liking and subscribing and sharing my work with your friends. I really appreciate it. I've been meeting so many lovely people from all over the planet, and I'm just so grateful for each and every one of you. If you've not yet, head over to Umaruby and book your place for a birth chart reading. I'm closing up shop for a couple of weeks in January, I think, but I'm cramming it in November, December. Let's go. I want to read for you. I can't wait. One-on-one on Zoom works. Anyway, big kiss. I'll speak to you in 2 weeks for the full moon in Gemini. Thanks again, Pisces. I love you. Bye.